Now, that episode had to be probably the most emotional episode that we ever gotten for Boruto. And man, by the end of the episode, I was just like, this is way too much for me to handle. This is pretty much the conclusion of the Isshiki fight. And in this episode, Isshiki finally gets defeated. We also get some other things like Sasuke actually losing his Rinnegan. It seems like Sasuke just keeps getting disabled like every so often. First his left arm, now his left eye. He's probably the most disabled person in the Leaf Village besides Might Guy, and that's saying something because Might Guy can't even use both his legs. So Sasuke is definitely joining the old head club where he can't actually use most of his body parts. But yeah, the Rinnegan being lost was a major focus point of this episode. Also Naruto and Kurama's final scene. Naruto and Kurama in the manga didn't really hit as hard, but in the anime they added a lot of things into this scene which made it more impactful and made us actually feel like Kurama meant something to Naruto, because in the manga it was sort of like a yeah, he's gone, back to business. But I like how in the anime they even added like some cool things like some music, and I think there's like a little credit scene too where it said like farewell. I wasn't really sure what that was. I thought the episode was actually ending, but it was like a farewell to Kurama, and I really like how they did that goodbye scene and sort of reminisced on a couple of things. Now I think with the final fight scene and the whole Kawaki thing, we get to learn that Kawaki's actually learning a little bit more ninjutsu because he uses a shadow clone to actually outsmart Isshiki and trick him to think that he actually put a karma seal on Kawaki, but he actually put it on a shadow clone. So it means that Kawaki's actually learning a bit about shadow clones. You're gonna learn a lot later that Kawaki's shadow clones are very useful, and he's pretty crafty with them too, considering he just learned how to use them. So I like how Kawaki is sort of taking on Naruto's signature technique and incorporating it into his fight style now. He also has a little bit of fireball jutsu, so Kawaki has the flame release, so I'm kind of interested to see what other techniques Kawaki can use. Maybe he'll get like another release or something. Maybe like earth release would be pretty cool to see from Kawaki. But there's a moment to where Sasuke and Naruto are talking and he's asking if there's a rest of the Baryon Mode. This is where we get really interrupted by Momoshiki and Boruto's body stabbing Sasuke's Rinnegan. If you haven't been paying attention, the Otsutsuki hate Sasuke's Rinnegan. Isshiki, I think, literally mentioned it like 5 times in this arc. Momoshiki mentions it a couple of times. I think even Isshiki mentions it. Like, they do not like Sasuke's Rinnegan because it's so damn annoying. It keeps on switching places with things and keeps on messing up what they're trying to do. So Momoshiki's like, you know what? I'm gonna go for your eye because that way you can't just escape out of here, and it's been pissing me off for like a couple of months now, so we're gonna go ahead and get rid of that off of you, do him a favor. And the two actually start to fight. So pretty much what Borushiki is saying here, Momoshiki, is he needs Kawaki because Kawaki still has some Otsutsuki DNA in his body. Because there's the thing with DNA, right? When your DNA gets altered, I'm pretty sure you can't really just like unalter it. Kawaki's body is like 80% Otsutsuki, and what Momoshiki wants to do is he wants to sacrifice Kawaki to the Ten Tails in order to cultivate the divine tree. So Kawaki's still able to be sacrificed even without the karma seal. So that's what Momoshiki's plan pretty much is: capture Kawaki and go to where the Ten Tails is. But yeah, the two continue fighting, and Sasuke's like, yeah, I'm ready to kill Boruto because I told him I was going to. Like they mentioned for the scene where the Isshiki fight started, Sasuke said, no matter what happens, I will promise to take you down as your teacher. So he does things like Amaterasu on Boruto and tests his theory that Momoshiki can't actually absorb ninjutsu because if he absorbs chakra, then Boruto will be able to control his body again. So we now know that Momoshiki actually takes over Boruto's body when he's low on chakra, and the way to make sure that Momoshiki doesn't take over is to make sure Boruto isn't low on chakra. So I kind of like how Sasuke figures that out, because Sasuke is really good at figuring things out and sort of breaking down things. So good thing on Sasuke for figuring that point out. Now we get a little bit of a throwback to the Vanishing Rasengan, which hasn't been shown in a minute, but it is a very strong technique because you can't really see it if you don't have the ability to, and if it hits like any of your vital points, it could do like some major damage. So Sasuke gets hit by one of these, and Momoshiki is just having a field day getting his payback. Like, this man held a grudge for a good good minute. I like Momoshiki because Momoshiki plays the long game. He waits it out, and he finally waits for the right moment to get his payback. So not only did he take out Sasuke's Rinnegan, he also knocked them out for a good couple of minutes. But moving on, Momoshiki and Kawaki are now face to face, and he's getting ready to take him somewhere, but Kawaki does the flames on himself to burn his own body to prevent Momoshiki from taking over him. Now I really like this from Kawaki because just like how Boruto was, Kawaki is willing to risk his own life, take his own life to prevent the Otsutsuki from taking advantage of them. So you can kind of see the parallels, like when Boruto was going to stab himself in the neck versus Kawaki putting himself on fire. So you can see that these two at a very young age are ready to give up their life to save the world pretty much. But pretty much that stops his plan. Momoshiki absorbs the flames and Boruto slowly starts to come back. And I really like how when Boruto comes back, his eye returns to normal on the left side, and we can kind of see the two just sort of fighting over Boruto's body, but Boruto eventually snaps off the horn, which I made a video about this a year ago, if that would have any effect, and I still think it's going to have some major effect on the whole Momoshiki transformation because Momoshiki seemed very worried about the horn in particular, so I'm just very curious to see how that sort of affects the transformation in the future. But yeah, Boruto returns to normal, and I would move on to the Kurama scene. So Naruto and Kurama are in this like space, and Naruto pretty much thinks he's dying, but Kurama doesn't really say anything about that, and he thinks that Kawaki and Boruto will be fine, found him, and the two are sort of like brothers now. And there's actually a little bit of a callback to Naruto recognizing Itachi as a good brother, which I thought was pretty nice because Itachi doesn't get mentioned that much. Kurama kind of sort of tried to relate Naruto and Sasuke being brothers, but Naruto's like, yeah, he already has Itachi and Itachi's a good enough brother, but hey Kurama, you've been with me since my whole life. And in a way, that's sort of like his brother in a way, if you want to put it like that. And yeah, they start to reminisce some more how like Naruto was the only one to call him by his name, and that the Tail Beasts actually really appreciated that because they're not seen as just weapons anymore, and they're seen as like actual things. So yeah, the scene was good, man. Towards the end of the scene, it got really hard to watch because they're laughing, and then the mood sort of changes to like gloomy and sad, and Kurama's like, yeah, I'm not dying, and then Kurama tells him that his life force is actually going to be gone. And in the manga, they even drive this point further that Kurama is not coming back. I don't know how many times I gotta say that, but he's not coming back unless they do some sort of weird thing. But the thing with Kurama is that his chakra is fully extinguished, so there's not any chakra for him to come back from. But yeah, Naruto yelling Kurama's name as he fades away, and the music playing, it was just way too much. And then Boruto waking up Naruto and him crying also, that just hit really different. But yeah, this was a hard episode to watch. A good episode, but towards the end it was a hard episode to watch, with the fills and everything. I guess episode probably a good 10 out of 10. This is the end of the Isshiki arc, and it was pretty good. So yeah, anyways, let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and join the Discord. And I'm out. Peace.